What do you know? I'm live, and what do you know? We lose power. My power goes out just as I'm going live. Thank God I'm doing this from my phone so I can make moves. This isn't the first time we go through this with a power outage here, and I am going to get into my topic here at the same time here too. Just got to make sure people are okay here, just so people know what is happening here. You know our power just went out.
No, I don't.
It just went out now and it hasn't clicked back on.
It hasn't come back?
Nope, it hasn't.
Is everybody out?
I'm going to look now. Anyways, for those who are listening live, I'll give a special hello out to them. And as we're going to go through with this, looks like I'm not going to be doing this from my room. Or my office. So what I'll do is I'll come out here. And we will do this thing here. And here we are live. And let's see if we can find a place here where we could talk about our future NFL future NFL head coaches and why they need to start coming from college again. And I'm going to get into a lot of this here. I'm looking for a place to really see if I could place this thing anywhere to do this. And really not too many places around here thanks to this thing in the way. Gotta have a brother who needs to put his thing somewhere. Man's got more space than me, and he lives in the place with all the rules. What do you say about that? But well, looks like I'll be doing it this way here. Anyone who wants to come in can come in. I will hopefully check them out as they do come in here. I just did a Facebook video just to talk about the band coming back together, the Dark Match. But let's do things. You know what? Let's just go with things as they are right now. Who are the college coaches who should join the NFL as a head coach? There are a few of them out there, you know, and with the way the NFL is with their head coaches, I mean, you know, it's like, you know, 4 to 6 NFL coaches are getting fired every year. So you know, I mean, you know, you don't know who's going to be trigger happy next. You really don't know. And I can smoke a cigarette while I'm out here. And, you know, it's just, you know, wow. Well, what do we do next here? Let's see what's happening here. I don't know if there's going to be anyone who comes in, because aside of word of mouth from Facebook, this is how it's going. Unfortunately, it has to go this way right now because for some reason I can't record and get it uploaded through my phone. But what college coaches should go in? You know, I mean, and like I said, there are a lot of college coaches that didn't get the chance. A lot of people are saying the experiments with Chip Kelly didn't work out is a big reason why. And I'm a bit of a defender of Chip Kelly because I think Chip Kelly did not get a fair chance in the NFL at all. You know, he got fired his third year with Philadelphia with the Eagles. And long story short there, you know, why did the Eagles fire him? They didn't let him start putting together a Chip Kelly team until his third year. He was living off of Andy Reid's team. You know, and he only got 1 year with the 49ers, and they needed to fire that GM. I think Chip Kelly did deserve a reprieve. But, you know, really, what went wrong? And it looks like our power is back on now. So I'll go back in after I get through with this cigarette. But, you know, Chip Kelly probably won't go back into the NFL. He'll probably wind up back in college. Kind of like Lovie Smith, you know, if anyone was fired prematurely from their head coaching job, it was Lovie Smith. I mean, the fact that a lot of these coaches are getting fired and you still got guys like Chuck Pagano still keeping their jobs is kind of ridiculous to me. It is. And truth let it be known, now we'll get into this, is who should come in from college that would make a good NFL coach. Now, I'm going to leave out two names here. I'm going to leave out two names, although never say never with these two at the same time, too. And you know what? I'm going to contradict myself because I am going to mention one of them. Nick Saban, I think, should get another shot in the NFL, but the only way you're going to give him a shot is if the structure for the head coach changes in the NFL to where they're going to have to be like head coaches in college are, because they're basically the head coach and GM. They basically run football. That's what they would have to be with their team. And let head coaches have an assistant head coach who's not just the assistant head coach and the defensive coordinator or the offensive coordinator or anything like that, but is just simply the assistant head coach. You're going to have to get that for a lot of these college coaches to come in, and it's a good idea, and to have an assistant general manager too to help handle things so he's not overwhelmed, because the NFL is a whole different ball game. And a guy like Nick Saban, I think, would get that chance. And another guy that I'm surprised still has his job is Sean Payton. I think if Sean Payton were to leave, and you were to give Nick Saban a chance there, I think he would do a lot better than he would with a Dolphin franchise that really never got its act together under the Wayne Huizenga regime. That's one thing. The other thing is, who do I think, is who else am I thinking of that could come in? And I don't have a specific team where he would go to or anything like that. Of course, I am talking about, of course, the one and only Jim Harbaugh. Harbaugh, I think he's going to be staying for a while in college, so I'm not going to really jump anywhere there with him. Okay, to get into some of the names of some of them now that I really think are going to make the move. Probably the biggest one to make a move, and I'm surprised it didn't happen during the offseason this season, is of course Stanford's head coach, Mike Shaw. I think Mike Shaw would probably be a tremendous head coach in the NFL. I think he would have done well. I think the 49ers should have probably gone after him. I think that would have been a good move. I also think that we're back on. And that was my mother. And so I think Mike Shaw, I think if anyone could turn a team like the 49ers around, you don't have to go too far away from home to look at the fact that maybe you should bring in a Mike Shaw. He, to me, is the top candidate to become a head coach in the NFL. Another one of the top candidates, and I don't have these in any real order, I think Brian Kelly from Notre Dame would be great in the NFL as a head coach. I think if he could really turn this Notre Dame team around, you will see him get that shot. There are plenty of teams where I would probably want to put a guy like him. And, I just think that, again, it's something worth looking at with him. I think he does great work, and I think he has it. He knows how to develop talent. He knows how to develop a team. This guy, he has it. And I think between now and the next couple of years, I think considerations do need to be made for this guy. I think he really would do well for any team. I think if I were to look at a place for him to go, I would try the Jets. And even though I like him, because like I said, like I bring up Chip Kelly, NFL 2.0 are in, there are three people that I really thought represented the NFL 2.0. And I think it's been misunderstood in a lot of ways, and some of them just weren't with the right team. I think Todd Bowles, I like him, like I like Chip Kelly, like I like Joe Philbin. I think I think Philbin and Todd Bowles will get chances again. Todd Bowles probably would have been better off in Miami. and see if he could just take over as the head coach there before Philbin came in. That probably would have been the best time to get him. But you could that could really be looked at for Brian Kelly. So we got to look at that. I think he's one of your better coaches. So I think those are two names to really look at just on them alone. I mean, there are other names too to really mention who could really join the NFL. And as I get everything back up here too, at the same time, my show was interrupted of Whiskey and Cigarettes. So I'm trying to get that back up for everybody. So Whiskey and Cigarettes, for those that are listening, Whiskey and Cigarettes. Unfortunately, the first show did get interrupted, so we're only going to do just one show. So there you go there with that one. Who are some of the other names to really look at that could really do this in the NFL? And there are a couple of names. I'm trying to get them all up here. Who can? Another one to really think about, even though he's with my rivals, those Florida State Nemesis Seminoles. They got a great coach there, Jimbo Fisher. I think if this guy can win some championships over within the next couple of years, he is a guy to consider for an NFL head coaching job. I think, like I said, I think that's a good. Like I said, I think that's a good. Hopefully, this will get up here. This isn't the first time this happened. This has been happening on an average of once every couple of weeks. Why, I do not know. But there's a name right there alone. That you could really look at there too. Jimbo Fisher. I think eventually he'll go to a team that really could use a boost at some point. Personally, I'm surprised the Jacksonville Jaguars haven't taken a look at him. If I were the Jacksonville Jaguars, I would have wanted him. And it's just one of those things. Okay, everything is trying to set itself up here. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it all back up. For those of you who are listening live, I am going to get Whiskey and Cigarettes back up. But those are some of the names that I do really like to mention. As far as names that I think should become head coaches in the NFL. I still want to go through the names here. I did have my list up here, which I am trying to get to, and I am working hard to get that up here. So we are working through this to get this done, and I am like I said, we are working. I do work around the clock to really see who are some of the likely candidates to become NFL coaches from the college level to the NFL. I think it's time. Look at some of the names that really did make it as NFL coaches from the college ranks. And and just for the record, Nick Saban did not fail in Miami. He really didn't. The atmosphere, the situation, not just with what was going on at the time here in South Florida was bad, but the ownership was real bad. I think Huizenga had too many just too many things happening. And I am getting it up here. I am getting my list back up here. I will start. I will bring back Whiskey and Cigarettes in one moment. Paul Chryst from Wisconsin. Now, he would be a good choice. Now, I want to see a little bit more happen with him first, because I think he can do it. He does have a great development for players, which I think is great. You know, so I think we got to look at him. Mark Richt, I think, from who's now here in Miami. If he can turn the Hurricanes around, he could be a likely candidate, but that's 5-6 years down the road. Duke's head coach, no. David Cutcliffe, no. Mike Riley, Nebraska, maybe. You know, I mean, you know, I'm just, my list here. I'm just trying to remember. I'm trying to do things off the top of my head. It's not the best. Kevin Sumlin. Now, here's a name that I think eventually is going to be looked at, not just by teams specifically in Texas or in the southern region, but anywhere. Kevin Sumlin, to me, is a tremendous choice of someone to give a shot to in the NFL. But again, these are coaches, you gotta let them run their system. You gotta let them do it, because that is the only way this thing is going to work out, would be through a guy like him. So Kevin Sumlin is someone to look at here. Of course, I already said Jimbo Fisher's name. I mean, a lot of people have Jimbo Fisher already in their top 10. Of course, we talked about Brian Kelly with Notre Dame. Bob Stoops, Oklahoma's head coach. This is a guy who I would like to see go into it. This is a guy who, to me, along with David Shaw, is a guy who I would like to see come in and take over a team. I could see this guy coming in if they finally decide to get rid of Chuck Pagano. This is a guy I would look at. The only other person I would look at that would probably best fit and he's not even on the list here, and he probably most likely will stay a college head coach, would be Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer will probably stay a college head coach. So, I mean, I kind of want to leave his name off that list. But to say Bob Stoops couldn't handle that team would be crazy. Jim Elmora from UCLA. I could see that happening. You know, he would do great coaching the Rams. You know, I mean, the Rams, I don't know if the Rams are satisfied with their coaching situation. We won't know for sure until things are done. So you got to look at that. You know, David Shaw, though, he's number one. So the names most likely here, David Shaw would be number one. Bob Stoops would be number two. Brian Kelly would be a strong number three. Jimbo Fisher, number four, and I have him more at number four because I think you're looking at least a good few years before that happens for him, if he should take it. And I think he would want to stay in Florida. So you'd have to have the Dolphins, the Jaguars, or the Bucks looking for a new head coach. And the only one that might still be at this point will probably be the Jaguars. Believe me. 2 free beers yet, Jacksonville? Oh, man. Kevin Sumlin would be number 5, although I think Kevin Sumlin, it could happen at any time. A lot of people want to say Gary Patterson of TCU. I don't know about that. Art Biles of Baylor maybe could do it. Maybe could. Mark Richt, you need to see what he does over the next 5-6 years in Miami. Paul Chryst, Wisconsin. Maybe. Some of them will surprise you. This is basically being looked at as far as what looks good on paper. So we got those things to consider. So let's do this. Let's for those that are waiting for it, it is starting back up here again. Whiskey and Cigarettes. We are going to I am going to play that now. And unfortunately, yes, I am starting the second portion of the show, which was actually already in. I apologize for the inconvenience there due to my power outage that I dealt with here. So let's see what works. Let's see what happens. I want to see. I'm interested to see what can happen with college coaches. Plus, to see what's going to happen. But now people have often asked me this, you know, and especially when I've talked about this, especially with some of the shows that I produce on my network. Who do I think will most likely be fired as an NFL head coach? Well, there are a couple of names there to mention. Number one on that list would definitely have to be Chuck Pagano. I think if Pagano can't turn things around, you're going to see a change happen. You're going to see a change happen because you're destroying a guy who's a top 5 quarterback in Andrew Luck. You got to look at that. The other one, of course, I will say Sean Payton. I think Sean Payton is nearing the end. I think when Drew Brees decides to retire, that's when Sean Payton will wind up gone. I think they don't want to do anything to screw that up. But I do think that he's another one to be looked at. Todd Bowles up for. I'm sorry to say he's on the chopping block, and he could be losing his job. Those are the 3 big names I'll mention when we look at the NFL season going on now. So that's what I'll say. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Those are my choices. Thanks for listening, everybody. It's been real grand. It was definitely a different way to do my thing. Power goes out as soon as I start the show, and I had to do things different, but no doubt. But those are my choices. What do you think? Thanks for listening. I'll take anyone's thoughts any way they want to put them. I don't care. This is Wacko Bob signing off.